Welcome to Normal Guy Games. Please like and subscribe. So today we are going to look into slapchop and batch painting. So what I've got here is the Morannon Orcs from the Fields of Pelennor box. And what I've done here is I've pretty much gotten all these orc boys ready for slap chopping. So we know what slapchop is. I've covered it before. So what I'm doing here is demonstrating how using the slapchop method can assist you in batch painting your miniatures, batch painting entire armies. Because, I mean, this is what I have here. This is an orcish army, right? So in this particular instance, I went with black primer and I airbrushed them all with a white from the top. And in the airbrush step, you can skip and you can use just a dry brush or a spray can if you want to just use a rattle can. But for me, I was already airbrushing, so I figured I might as well. So once that was done, I hit them with a dry brush over all of them with my favorite maggot white from Reaper, and it's kind of a cool white with just a hair of green in it. So it's basically imperceptible, but it's there. So what I've done is I've actually picked a couple of different colors for their clothing, for their skin, and the weapons, the armor, and the halves of the weapons are all exactly the same. So what I've used is wildwood for the weapons, wildwood for the shields. I've used lead belcher for all the weapons and the armor, and I've used a combination of Blood Angels red and Space Wolves gray, along with Gargax sewer. I used that mostly for the hair and for some of the clothing as well. And I did pull out a little bit of snakebite leather here and there just to throw in a different splash of color. And for the bases, what I used was Armageddon dust for the texture paint, and then I hit the entire model with an Agrax Earthshade. And this ends up being a very simple, very easy method to paint up a bunch of different models. I mean, it only took me a couple of days to do all of these Morannon Orcs that you see here. It honestly took me longer, I think, per model to paint the Rohan army than it did for me to paint the Morannon Orcs. Now, keeping in mind here, they're not painted perfectly. They're not, they're not stellar. These models are not stellar in quality in the first place. These are older sculpts. They're from way back when, and I mean, even the Pelennor Fields boxes, these models are showing their age. But the thing is, they will still work for Lord of the Rings, for Dungeons and Dragons, for all of these different games. So I figured, you know what? I might as well pull this box down, and I might as well just go ahead and, do it in a quick, easy method and batch it. So this is what batching can do for you, and this is what slapchop can do for you. So if you combine the two, you have it made. I mean, it's not that hard to paint an entire unit of models in slapchop style. So, as you can see here, this is the model with everything dried up, and I had already done Agrax Earthshade on the model just to test how it would look, and then I went back later and I did Agrax on the Armageddon dust texture paste as well. Now you can see here the various stages of me being done with these orcs. This is just progress over time. Between the contrast paints, and I even used a little bit of speed paint. I used the orc flesh. It was a little too green for me, and I went back to the plague bearer flesh for the rest of them. I didn't really like the speed paint. But I mean, as you can see here, I mean, I finished all of them in a fairly decent amount of time, and they look good. Once everything has been washed and dirtied down and grimmed up, it ends up looking really good. So this is just kind of an example for you, just to show you that you don't have to put many hours into every single model you own. Do a really nice captain, and then the rest of the troops can just be whatever paint job you want. You don't have to spend your lifetime doing this. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and once again, please like and subscribe. It really does help.